Hello everyone, sadly I ran into a lot of issues with my Loom while recording this video initially, so the first part of this video unfortunately got corrupted. Regardless, I created a video on how to use deep learning models in QGIS. I do have the second part of the video where I have the output, so right now I'll just walk you through how I got to the input and how I ran the model, because well, sadly all of the information that I put into this video before running the model, which took roughly an hour, sadly got corrupted. Yeah, not very happy with that, but regardless, let's just get into it. I ran a deep learning model on QGIS and I had no experience with this, didn't have to code anything, so that was amazing. I was actually pretty impressed with the results, so you will see that later in this video. This is pretty much the outputs of the model. What I did first of all was run the plugin called Deepness, Deep Neural Remote Sensing. I installed this plugin, and up next what you do is simply click the plugin. You can use a polygon layer, so I created a new drawable layer using this button right here, just new create new shapefile layer, and then you can just start drawing a layer. So I created this part of the city I used, and I ran the model in that area. You can also choose to do the entire layer, but you do have to put up an input layer. So in this case, we have the Google satellite image. Yeah, you cannot run this model on the entire world, which is basically the availability of that layer. That's gonna take long because, well, just this city alone took me roughly 1.5 hours, I believe. So regardless, you should pretty much prefer to use a layer that you already have, like a shapefile layer of a particular area. You can do that as well. I decided to create a drawing on within QGIS, but maybe you already have a shapefile or a geopackage of the area that you're looking at. Regardless, you can also use the entire layer, as I said, or the visible part, which is just the part of the layer that you see while in QGIS at the moment. So right now it would show more, right now it would use less of the layer. So simply everything that is shown within the middle part or the frame here, the middle frame. Yes, yet I assume it is in like the last phase of the model run, because this seems like we should be able to run, and we are using a segmentation model. So I do believe that that is what we should be seeing as of right now. But it's just not there yet. Honestly, this may be... Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Model output. This took, I think, roughly an hour or maybe even a little bit more, which honestly may be decent because it is a decently big area. So that is amazing, you know. I just really took a model from the internet for free, ran it into QGIS for free, and got segmentation for free. So here we can delete the mask and we can look into the model output, which is within this mask. And I would like to kind of remove that mask, to be honest. Regardless, what we can do right now is just export this as a... Oh, it is a group. Okay, right. These are separate layers, but we could export them as a actual layer. And I mean, this data may not be that interesting in the sense of the simple fact that it is usually in OpenStreetMap, but OpenStreetMap may not have actual like segmentation for how big a tree is, how big a certain greenery is. So this is very, very interesting and valuable for remote sensing, especially if you have layers or satellite images from different seasons throughout the year. You could actually check like how much land cover is covered with plants, how much land cover is covered with, say, glaciers or whatever. Very interesting, absolutely. So I am going to export these right now as shapefiles. It's telling me CSVs. I would like, or better yet, GeoPackage. So I just saved the road layer as a GeoPackage deep learning. Very cool. Not particularly necessary or anything though. I would like to remove the mask because right now I'm looking at this mask, which essentially is this mask. However, I would like not to have to look at it so that I can actually look into my data more. Uh, there we go. Boom. Let's see how accurate it is. These are roads and deep learning more roads. Aha. That doesn't seem too great. However, reason for that being is that we just used the first iteration of the model, which truthfully is not that great as you can see. It also detected all of the streets as water. Oh man. Anyways, regardless, we do get a model that actually works. That's what that matters most. You just need to do more iterations and more segmentation on the different classifications in order for it to actually work well. So how would we do this? We would have to feed this back into the model as an input model or like as a new input and pretty much classify how good it detected everything. Because if we look at the woodland or plants, literally like trees and everything, this is not bad at all. This is actually really good. So this is actually great detection work. And after all, I just used a generic model off of the internet without iterating on it myself. And if you look at the woodland part, this is actually great. This is actually amazing. Because this is, you see, the accuracy is really good. It's not perfect, but it is definitely up there. This is outside of the mask, as you can see. But wow, I'm actually impressed. I'm actually impressed. Let's check for the buildings. These are also not that great. Once again, these may be trained on models somewhere else in the world and therefore not be that great. However, we can just use the OpenStreetMap for buildings. But this is really good for woodland exporting or generating, segmenting, whatever you may call it. And a bunch of background data as well, which is pretty much everything else that is left, I assume. So here it detects the street and one of the more or less, let's say less green trees as background, or in other words, as I assume something it cannot classify in one of the other categories. Regardless, I am very impressed with this model. So I will leave a link to the model down below because I just got this from a YouTube video. I'm not affiliated with the company whatsoever, I have no clue. But it is open data, open source plugins used in QGIS, which is also open source. And even the model, it is an ONNX format I got from the same company. So the Deepness neural remote sensing, and I believe the company is called Put Vision, right? Okay. They created this model. I just downloaded one of these models literally and then I uploaded it into it. So you can use its segmentation for land cover. And let's not forget there's more things that you can do. So we now use the land cover for segmentation, but you can also use other models. So let me see what else we have. We can do detection. Right here there's an example of like literally a plane detection model. I assume you can even upload your own models. I'm not sure how standardized the .onnx format is, but if you have another model from another source, I believe you can use it within this plugin as well. It's not just limited to these models that they included right here. You could check the documentation to find that out, but I'm pretty sure that you can actually use different models. You can also run it within scripts. So if you are familiar with coding, you can do it that way. I am not too familiar with coding myself, but car detection, we have that as well. I'm sure you can use these examples to like make your own model or change up your own model or use another existing model to get the result that you need. But regardless, I would heavily recommend you to use this model and train it if you actually do some sort of remote sensing or GIS work where you could use this either this land cover model or a detection model because well this works amazing. Like I haven't coded anything, I've just used free tools off the internet and I managed to do some sort of remote sensing deep learning project without any prior experience. I've never done this before. This is actually the first time I ran this plugin. I'm not sure if I got that on video, but I actually installed this plugin like 2 hours ago. I'm not sure, just to see if I can prove this. But whenever I go to plugins, yeah, I mean, I just searched for this and installed it at the start of the video or before the start of this video. I don't remember to be honest because there was an hour in between the model. So I would recommend you start off with a smaller set of data first because well this almost took an hour and if you do encounter some sort of error or problem you only know that after an hour, whereas if you use a smaller set of data that would be easier. Maybe you even have like a model that would run on solar panel detection, or you may have a model that runs on boat detection. There's a lot of things that you can do. Regardless, I hope this video has been valuable to you if you want to do some sort of deep learning model usage or maybe even train up your model. I'm sure I'll be making a video on that in the future because well that really is the next step from here to actually improve this model so that there's more or like better outputs that we get from here. I'm actually very impressed with the woodland layer, not so much with the other layers, but the fact that it works without me doing anything or developing anything or even iterating on the model is super impressive to me. So I hope you agree and I hope you got some sort of value from this video and I'll see you in the next one.